and one, two,
yeah, great.
We're recording.
Great. Well, thanks everyone for joining us. And particularly thanks to Sean for leading us today. Mary, thanks for coordinating us. I'm really excited everybody's here. We're reaching out and trying to add features to what the WBL lab can do. We sort of started historically as a physical space, but as many very simple sites have moved online, I see the WBL lab as a place for more complicated, more involved, higher touch studies. And we have resources to collect all kinds of very interesting data. And then I'd like to sort of say this as a resource for supporting behavioral research more broadly. So if you have ideas for how to do that better, sort of other topics to tackle, we really welcome them. And today, we're going to talk about AV capture.
Yeah, that's sort of what I'm talking about today. The challenge is doing it has been available in the lab for a long time, but now sort of possible, almost nearly possible. So, I'm Sean Sandwich for those who don't know me, and I work for Work Computing, and we have a group called Music Programming. For about 5 programmers, general purpose, we have a daily team, and we try to help faculty with their research needs, and that does often include stuff that runs in the behavioral lab and stuff that involves the behavioral lab. And this case I'm talking more about the when I asked Mary and Mary's asking to talk about since that sort of changed some of the features, and then more broadly, like how do we solve some of the capture problems and challenges that we have? So one of those is how do you collect the research, how do you collect the data technically, like what tools we have available to collect body visual response. So if we do that, how do we link that back to a Qualtrics response? We're going to use Qualtrics as a platform. And then asset management, like how do you actually manage the storage files, where they live, and then how do you do analysts, how do you do like how do you work with the resulting video files, quality files? All of those are sort of challenges that I see researchers have. And these are sort of the solution that we have today that I'm presenting about is sort of leaning on these 3 technologies in the middle. So it's a busy slide. Camera tag, it's really Qualtrics in the middle. And we're going to be using camera tag on the left. And that's going to be a platform as a service that you sign up for. It's a user-friendly service to get the little widget to record, to manage your assets, to integrate with AWS. And we're going to use AWS on the other side to do some transcription, and we also are going to do some facial detection and motion tracking and whatnot as well. So all of that's done in a pipeline that is triggered by a recording.
And Sean, can I like
yes.
So, yeah. So in WBL, we have breakout rooms that have very fancy cameras.
Yeah.
But you're now also talking about what we can do from just a camera on a laptop. Right. So both options.
So in terms of like, yeah, so I have a slide that actually sort of leaning back into the behavioral lab as an expert in the field, as probably an authority in this field. And us talking about doing facial extraction and the feature extraction from video is available. The amount of like cited papers for this technology is going to be slim. There's a lot of like caution I have about using this, but it's quickly worth playing with and looking at. Because again, as you said, the hearing, the camera that you record on versus me, that's a variable we can't control. So in the lab, you can control all of that. So it may be helpful to just know if a face is there or not. It may be useless. It may be helpful to know if the if the gender is classified correctly, or the age. So all of that like is sort of correctness and accuracy is still a bit of a open discussion. And then leaning into a black box technology like this, where there are white papers in terms of how Amazon is doing this stuff, but there's a lot, I have a slide sort of like addressing things like, hold on, like you have this technology in the lab, what's the difference? So, we'll get there.
Okay, all right, great.
So let's start. Just put a ball on it. Yeah, so you kind of like, I'll demonstrate this. It's really, the whole pipeline is all kind of built out and you don't need to touch it. Just sort of, you sign up for this service called camera tag, you change some JavaScript in the question, we'll walk through that. And then when you record, when you capture somebody's response, it triggers a whole bunch of services. That first and foremost gives you these options for transcription. So you get the text of what the person said, and that's resulting from the JSON, which is like a structured data that includes for each word spoken a confidence level measure of that word. It includes other alternative words that may be there. It's a very, very long and sophisticated analysis of the text that's spoken, but that's all distilled into a text file. Really, all you want is sort of a best guess. So the other two on the bottom are closed caption formats that if you ever wanted to shove this back into a video, you could have it, timestamp, and you can have that. And they're part of the output, the standard output from the service. So we include them part of the pipeline, and they're actually quite helpful as I was trying to demonstrate. You'll see they're quite helpful.
Now this would be great for like one person talking. If in the lab we have two cameras, could we create a transcript with, so let's say you and I are talking, the cameras watching each of us.
So you can have them done separately and you can join them together, two cameras. But if there's two faces talking on one camera, you could, the service will attempt to identify individual speakers and label them. It's in my two people seems to be about the max at this point, 3 or 4 or 5, it gets a little confused. But again, I in this demonstration, the assumption is that it's going to be one talking head to a camera, but there is support, at least for the transcription part, for multiple speakers. And the face tech as well, there is support for multiple faces. But it has a hard, I don't know how it distinguishes between faces. Still unclear, but when my evaluation is going probably so.
Okay, great. In the lab with cameras, we would create two transcripts that would be timestamped.
Exactly, yeah. So you could do that because, exactly. There's many ways to do it. You could either do that, or you could splice the video into one video, like assume that the Brady Bunch of the two videos, and then upload that, and then let the analysis handle the two speakers as well. Either one is possible. So this is called just AWS transcription system. There's thousands of services out there. We need into AWS because the pipeline to handle the mechanics of like file ingestion and other things are all in AWS as well. So we're using their service. It's actually quite sophisticated. It does a good job. It has a lot of training. You don't need to train yourself. The model is, it's just the publicly available English model. Have not tried other languages. There is support for, probably 30 or 40 common languages, but English is the only place I tested the transcription. So in terms of face detection, these are the features that you get as well. We'll go through these as well, but some of these are quite clear, like age range, the person smiling, wearing glasses, the gender is a binary, and you got some of the other ones that are interesting, things like bounding boxes, the geography of where the head is in the frame, landmarks are where like left eye, right eye, lips, all are, and then pose, I believe, is just like jaw, roll, and pitch of the head, kind of where they're leaning. So you can kind of get a lot of data out of that. But I think emotion is really kind of one that has a lot of interest for behavioral researchers, right? So emotion is a list of, I guess, 6 emotions, and then it's a confidence score of which one is the most expressive, which one seems to be the most confident in that emotion. So as I said before, there is a lot of work that's been done in this area by the lab using Otis and Kiva. I spoke to Robert Botto about this before I came in, just to make sure that I didn't want to leave it out. But the lab internally has these tools, controlled cameras, a lot more of a controlled situation. You control the data flow, there's less privacy concerns, there's less black boxes, of course, citations for all of these tools. If what you're interested in is doing face reading, and your participants are on campus, you should probably use these software, right? But if you want to maybe add some flavor to some research, you could turn on this switch and do some remote-based reading using the service I'm talking about. I don't think one replaces the other at all. There's a lot of maturity here and a lot of expertise. Any questions from anyone here or remote? I was going to go through a demo. I think it's kind of the fun part. And then I was going to.
Are there many faculties using Aptitude or Novus? You're now.
I don't know. I know Robert manages that service. I know it has been used in the past. I don't know about currently. I don't know the answer to that. Robert is not here today. He's giving another talk.
Yeah.
We should ask him.
I keep getting excited.
I may have overestimating its saturation, but I know that at least do you have an idea? Well, I know when I sent it to Robert, which is now 7 years ago, it was something he was very interested in and had a lot of fear for. I don't really appreciate it. So actually, I'm going to jump out of this slides. I'm just going to do a little demo here. So I'm going to walk through a survey that we can do this for, right? So you all know Qualtrics is a very simple survey. The only thing I have here is some custom JavaScript or script tags in the header. You're not familiar with what I'm talking about here, but we're importing some stuff from Hamilton, and we're importing some stuff that we wrote early. So you would just copy and paste it, and this makes some of the magic happen. I'm happy to go into more details about it, but it's just this helps make everything a lot simpler when we get to the question. So this is like a survey level in terms of code that's going to be executing, and this is code that executes at the survey question. So if you want to have this, teacher to grab a recording from an individual, you're going to have something like this. And you can see, I don't know if you can see it, it's a standard tag at the UID. I'll talk more about that in a minute. That is essentially telling Qualtrics or telling cameras where to send the asset after it's recorded. But critically, the user ID piece, here it is shown in degree. This is the linking part I'm talking about. So if you capture this recording in Qualtrics, it's obviously part of the response in Qualtrics. And you want to tie that response back to the video asset. So to do that, we need to the file name is going to be some gibberish. So we need to have some metadata associated with it. And that's it. So because this is your prolific user ID or MTech user ID, or just maybe the response ID, Qualtrics, something unique for you. Uniqueness will be critical here because the file name is going to be based on that. So when you go back to download your files or look at the transcripts or the face reading data, it's all going to be prepended with that key there. The other values are just sort of behavior ones, like how long do you want to record, where do you want to put it. So I'm going to just go ahead and preview this and do a recording, and we'll take a look at camera time. So I'm just previewing the survey. You can resume this. So this interface is customizable to your heart's content. That's one reason we like camera pad. You can edit this CSS underlying it. So out of the box, you get a format like this. You can change behavior to automatically start recording. You can change behavior to automatically stop. You can allow it to review. So let me start recording and just talk for a little bit. So yeah, as I said, you have the ability to change the behavior of this window, and we can see that the integration prohibits me from advancing to the next slide. The next button I can't. Next button's hidden. So that's a nice feature out of the box. Kind of forces you to stay here and record their video.
We can even do it without the cameras.
Yes.
It can be other text on the screen. Movies.
Yep. So I'm going to set that and put that. So it is a little challenging to not show the user themselves. It requires a bit of a complicated JavaScript, It's very important. Right? Like, we've done it. It's not easy, but we've done it. But we also have audio. Obviously, Facebook. So I just want to look at this real quick. Tell me when it finishes. I have So countertag. I want to start this platform page. Platform pretty low, it's actually a three-tier down now. You create what's called an app. Has an ID. We talked about this ID here. It's going to kind of have the whole extended. So you're not going to need that, but just take my word for it. You have this ID that allows for assets to be recorded, and you can see that it shows up here in my media assets. Ignore my children down there, it's mom flatter and photos. But here's the one we just recorded. So, and we tell it when it's recorded also, I'll hope we set this up a little bit to take this recording and put it onto S3, which is Amazon services, and take it and give it this, what do they call it? They call it the bucket directory. We use this as a mechanic to kind of identify you as a researcher and separate you from the other researchers. If you gather enough data and we have to charge you for the work you do, we use this key to sort of differentiate your work from, say, your work. This is another mechanic. Hoping this will finish while I'm talking. It's the actual face recognition part is really variable in terms of how long you wait for the job to start. But how often are you going to want to demonstrate the data while you're collecting? So it's not that important how long it takes for you guys. But for me, I was hoping to be done by. But if not, we can do this at a different point. So just to show you what we have here, we have this is this part of the code. You're not going to need it. It's all code demonstrable. I want to show you what we do. So we're just going to grab this file that was created. Created this closed caption file, ETC file, and I'm going to try to download it, and I'm going to try to put it on the video so that you see it as if it was, so you can see what was transcribed and play it back. So let me give it one more second to see the finish. So this is an older one. I don't even know which one this is. This one actually makes it short. Oh God, I hope so. That's tragedy.
Demos always work like that.
So here is this here, and that's the wrong one. I'm sorry. There you go. So this is only a 5-second video, but you can see, I'll kind of play it on you.
Check 1, 2, check 1, 2. I'm going to have my.
You know what? It just finished. So let's use the one that actually has to be that one. So I have it set email me when it's done just for this demonstration, but you know. So here it is.
A little bit. So yeah, as I said, you have the ability to change the behavior of this window, and you can see that the integration prohibits me from advancing to the next slide, or the next question. I can't. Next button's hidden. So that's a nice feature out of the box. It kind of forces the user to stay here and record their video.
So you can see it's putting the
so they don't.
Yes.
There could be other text
there available. And then the face reading part is also there, and I have some functions here to turn what I did is I took the motion file that's based on data about this basic text. About every twice per second makes a sample. I took that data and I actually wrote it to a caption file. Not that you want to do this, this is a great way to demonstrate what the face reading was seeing while on the screen of the video, right? So I just I'm just going to download that, and I put just a few of the key features in there, and we'll play that back
a little bit. So yeah, as I said, you have the ability to change the behavior of this window, and you can see that the integration prohibits me from advancing to the next slide, or the next question. I can't. Next button's hidden. So that's a nice feature out of the box. It kind of forces the user to stay here and record their video.
You could even do it without the camera, so they don't.
Yes.
There could be other text on the
screen. It's not a surprise for a second there, but I have some other videos where I feign disgust, I feign laughter, I feign sadness, and all of that demonstrates really well. It does a great job for a single talking head. It's probably as controlled a situation as you can get off a web. So just to to show you what data is available from the spatial. The actual data you get back contains, in this case, 58 individual faces every 2 seconds or so. And you can see that each one has a timestamp and the face. And the face has these 15 features we looked at earlier. So the bounding box is the geography of where my head is. I don't really look through each one, but some like emotion is one that's probably most interesting. And surprise, fear is one, confused, sad, happy, anger, and disgust. So disgusted. So those are sort of the, I think those are the out of the box emotions, and that's really you're limited to that. There's no way to add emotions, to transfer emotions to this product, this sort of product. We jump back to the PowerPoint to wrap up some of the other things I had here. So that, if you want to use this service, there's some nominal costs here. The camera tag service is the last one first. It's a monthly based subscription, and you get 100 minutes free, and that allows you to capture those minutes. And, if you need more, you can just leave the videos. They're actually moved AWS, so they don't need to get on camera tag long. So if you never capture more than 100 at the moment, that's definitely a good place to start. And then the as you go higher in the tier, then you can get more minutes. So if you're collecting at a larger scale, take a month. And it's not, there's no contract. You can turn it on and off. And then the transcription is about $1.50 an hour and $6 an hour. So you think through how many minutes or hours you're going to be collecting, ballpark there. You're not going to spend like $30. We're not going to charge you because it's not worth the time. So, but after like $30, $50, we'll collect the budget code and we'll formally charge back to that budget monthly or bi-monthly. So that's sort of the more boring billing part of it, but I think it's second, it's not that expensive, and you can get away probably not spending $30 for a small scale concept. So the only other thing I want to mention before I go on, what we're trying to do as a service, as a group, is like we're trying to build out services like this for the younger researchers, or the researchers who also learn to code, or people who are good at ChatGPT, or all of the above. We have documentation available now that's public facing that can get people started without us being involved the entire way. We're happy to be involved when you run into problems. We're seeing researchers now are going to get about 70–80% of the way there using their own tool sets, which whatever that may be. And we're happy to give you the last 30%. But having a model of documentation and public facing, tooling and sort of a catalog of tools, I think is helpful. Where this will get you halfway. There's things that we need to set up. We need to turn on the integration program. You can't just go read this and get through. So let us know because we need to enable the transcription for you as a user, right? But we have similar things for if you want to embed an application called talked about a couple months ago, or if you want to show a YouTube video and have different behavior below the YouTube video, like a slider, how you feel, all of those, or if you just want to show a YouTube video without control, you just want to have it in your survey, have it not be just using the standard YouTube embed that allows you to pause. You can limit them from advancing. All of those are documented in different libraries like this, and we're trying to put together a catalog which will share of all of these sort of Qualtrics related JavaScript libraries. So at this point, I don't have any questions. I don't have any more. I'm happy to take any questions. I kind of like to keep these short because I feel like often the discussion is more valuable than me just elaborating on. So I'm happy to take any questions.
It's super exciting about collaborating more closely with what we're doing. Trying to figure out, one of the questions for you is what can we do to support researchers on topics And whether we've been, sort of related to here, like we have the ability to do this emotion coding and do the transcription, which I think is so cool. Thanks so much for sharing this. Any reactions or questions?
Well, it's just great. I really like it. It's pretty hard about how to use it, but it's wonderful.
Yeah, it was I mean, a lot of it came out of there's a lot of movement from thinking about what the next class is going to look like, which is really interesting. Like, where does this technology fit in classes with cameras? And I don't want to go open that kind of worms, but that's being discussed, and I don't really know where it's going. So Amazon's been showcasing this technology for a while. It made it kind of tricky. Then I was like, oh, we can do this remotely. But I think, yeah, I think it's important to think about things like there is still like some privacy concerns here, right? We're not privacy, just sort of research concerns generally, because we're using a tool that may not have that rich citation history that no listening does. I mean, I'm not the one making those judgment calls, obviously, but I can imagine there's some concern. When you go through IRB, I will help you discuss where those files live on the because they do live for some period of time on camera tag servers, and then they do live on servers that we manage as Amazon servers. So those are just IRB concerns. I don't often know what the actual, like, if there's any deal breaking going on there, but I'm happy to work through those with you as well.
It's interesting about this, we have all these emotion induction videos, measurements, but we don't have a lot of. Right now, we all just get self-report, like, and here we can just take those inductions, figure out what are good inductions.
Are you collecting that through Qualtrics, or are you using dials, things like it?
So I've used both, but it's mostly just. But this is a much more. It's a much more passive measure. It doesn't require people to be aware. And I think for like some emotions, like even like anger, people like not to say that they're angry. Yeah.
I think they're not really, who's right?
Who's right, right? Like, yeah, like, we're assuming the computer's right. Yeah, the computer does correct.
Like inter-participant, it seems pretty easy. Like, oh, you were not angry, and now you're angry. But
Yeah.
That seems a little more challenging.
Although this.
It is used like there's a lot of it is used a lot in identifying one of the things they did during COVID is they've been like personal protective equipment. So there's a lot of HIPAA compliance going on, at least on the data once it's in Amazon world. But it, like any system that is built by humans, it's likely going to have some bias and some, obviously not going to be perfect. But it's probably a good starting point, right?
We talk about the R model, media. One thing that I was thinking about using this data collection framework to create a measure of engagement, you can kind of take it to use these variables.
So I don't think there is currently a way to do that. There is other models. There's this other idea of it's called liveness, which actually detects if you're actually live. Like, like if you're like, you're not a doll or you're not a yes. And that's, I think that's used to verify like identity itself. The platform itself is pretty rich with features, but not really covered. There's they call it, what the name is, like celebrity identification, which is already populated with many celebrities, but you can create your own data set, so you could within this room, and then it will identify us people collection. So that's all, you know, part of this. The name of the service I should have said is recognition of intent. And so if you Google that, Amazon recognition, you can see the full offering. And Amazon Transcribe is the other service. And then, you know, the pipeline itself has a lot of glue, Amazon glue and magic going on past this. But those are the two main players. Like I would say the research forward players in the pipeline.
But it has like, your mouse. Mouse is
Yep.
Like you could probably figure, there's probably some way to use some of these data.
You also have the geography of every corner of the eye and the inside of the eye. So you can measure, you could write your own algorithm to say, oh well, this person's baseline eye height is this, but during this period of time it was extended. The resulting data is very rich. You know, having, and also the service can also identify objects as well, common objects, coffee cups, weapons, stuff like that. What's useful is things like weapons, PPE, and those are the things that industry is like DSA codes and whatnot. Any questions that are not related to this? You're like, I'm thinking of something that I'm forgetting, you know, because like, you know, I think also, I'd like to hear what people are working on. I'd like to know what we're interested
That's great. Well, yeah, thanks so much. So we're going to have some more workshops like this, some with Sean, some with Robert. We're going to do one on the VR. Mary, and the VR one is scheduled for
We have
Robert.
2 seminars. I think the next one is
I try, that's right. So basically, that's what I'd like to sort of just introduce some of the technology and methods that we have, and just bring to the conversation so we can, you know, support any ideas. So thanks, yeah, thanks so much for coming. Great to have all of you here. A particular thing.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, that's customizable, like great attention on data for you and yeah, timestamps. And it might be another thing I think it might be is also if it detects 2 cases, it might sample more. It's a little bit of a black box. I could explore that more if needed. All right. So I'm gonna leave the call.
Good, great. Thank you.